It is Tuesday, May 26, 2020. Here in this quarantine, I'm James Sims, and today I'm going to do an elite profile on a top pick and a young cornerback in the Detroit Lions system. His name is Jeffrey Okudah, and pretty much as long as I can remember him, he's pretty much been an elite cornerback to the point where he is going to amaze NFL fans about how good and clean and smooth he is and how he just flew under everyone's radar in college. So the legend with Jeff Okudah starts in high school. He grew up in Texas. He ended up going to South Grand Prairie High School. He was ranked by ESPN as a top 10 prospect in the 2017 class. He eventually went on to being an All-American. He was the highest rated DB prospect. And after being poached by nearby schools such as Oklahoma, Georgia, Texas, Florida State, he eventually ended up going to Ohio State. And even when he went to Ohio State, he ended up starting most of the games that he played as a freshman. Sophomore, junior year, he started every single game. And with 3 interceptions and 9 pass breakups and two forced fumbles, he was able to help lead Ohio State into the college football playoff, where they would eventually lose to Clemson in the semifinal. After a lot of things kind of happened, but a lot kind of rolled in Clemson's direction, but Ohio State ended up losing that game. And another impressive feat of the season was that he didn't have a single penalty called against him as a corner this whole season. He's very refined. He's incredibly athletic. He's very confident in his athleticism, that he doesn't really get overwhelmed. He doesn't get rattled very easily. He's a corner that once you put him up on the line from day one, this dude will do his best to make sure that receivers don't rack up yards on him. In addition to being very fast and very quick, he's very physically imposing. He's stronger than he looks at the line. It's really tough for a lot of top level receivers to really get past him on the line. He to me is I think he's a player that will eventually become an NFL Hall of Famer straight up. I think that I have not seen a corner that was that athletic and that well disciplined. I think that as soon as he hits the ground running in Detroit and they tell him what to do, he's gonna do exactly what they tell him to do, and he's gonna be a very great defensive player. I think he's gonna become a star. People are gonna remember him. I never got a chance to see Deion Sanders, but I would imagine watching him play corner would probably be somewhat similar to watching Jeffrey Okudah play corner, because I watched him at Ohio State. Even though the Big Ten didn't have its fair crop of elite level NFL level receivers, I think he did an amazing job covering who he was supposed to cover, making sure that even if the other side of the field, they were moving on the other side of the field, no one was getting any yards on his side of the field. As a Detroit Lions fan, I'd be very, very excited because you're gonna get to see him play at least through his rookie season. We'll see if he eventually moves, and we'll see if they build that Detroit Lions defense around him. I mean, in the secondary, you have Desmond Trufant, who they signed from Atlanta, who's not bad to learn under. You have Daron Harmon and Tracy Walker as the safeties in that situation. So, I mean, we just got to see how this defense kind of builds up. We'll see if they get better. Let's see if this coaching staff can really kind of get it together under Matt Patricia. I don't know if the Lions are more watchable, but I think that Jeffrey Okudah is someone to watch. If your team is playing against the Lions, just be aware that if your main receiver is up against Jeff Okudah, he might not get a lot of yards. But he's a player that's really, really young, so I wouldn't say it's crucial to watch him as soon as possible. But he's definitely a player to keep your eye on if your team is playing Detroit. Because I don't know if they're ever really on prime time unless they're on like Thursday night football or like Monday night. So if you ever get a chance to watch the Detroit Lions, if you really have nothing else to do, get a chance to watch how Jeff Okudah plays. He's one of the few players that will step into the league as a rookie and play like a seasoned veteran. He's that smooth. He's very intelligent. He can read. He can read offensive pass. He can read offensive schemes. No, he's a very, very smart player. And once he sets his eyes on something, I think he'll be incredible. I think he'll be very, very impactful. My comps for him are probably Darrelle Revis. I think he's a very high level corner. I think he's between Charles Woodson and Darrelle Revis. He's able to put everything together, and he may not get a lot of interceptions, but he will make sure that you definitely will not get yards on him. He will make sure that you will not throw to the receiver that is currently being guarded by him. So that's kind of my spiel. Of course, as his NFL career progresses, I'll have more to say about Jeff Okudah. But as of right now, considering he hasn't played an NFL game, there's not much I can say about him being an NFL player. But I can speak to the fact that he is one of the world's elite football players. So that's kind of my thing. And with that, I really appreciate you for getting the chance to listen to this. And with that, I'm going to say peace.